battle of first place in the Mid-Atlantic Division heads to Reading, Pennsylvania, alongside Ben Marcu. I'm Joey Jarzynka, live on FA Euro TV. FA Euro is 1-0-2 with 5 points heading into this conference. Big matchup, Ben, against the then PDL runners-up of the 2018 season, Reading United AC. Looking back to last game, Ocean City, they drew. FA Euro drew. And the best part about it is that you guys and FA Euro have 5 points before June, unlike last year and the year prior.
I think the biggest we're very excited about that, and the biggest factor in it is we're much cleaner defensively. We are more compact as a team, and the attitude of the team is far more united, I think. Very exciting season ahead. This game will be a really important one for us. We're looking at it as a 6-pointer for sure. Shots
on goal in that game was 13-7. Daniel Twiser for the opposition scored the first goal in 3 minutes. He was a substitute in there, and then just 3 minutes later, FA Euro responded from Karamba Jane with a wacky goal, to be completely honest with you, from Tommaso Davico. It was a shot that was redirected by the Tampa Bay Rowdy alum. So speak about the game in whole. It was a clean game. The only yellow card, the only caution, was in the 89th minute by Jordan Schwartz.
Yeah, I think the game was played on our terms, we thought. In the first half, Ocean City had more of the ball, which was the game plan. We set up a much lower block to defend. Ocean City, we know, we've played for many years. They have a tendency to get very open. They get a little bit impatient, and so they start throwing numbers forward as the solution to try to get a goal, when what they really needed was a little more creativity. We think the 13-7 in shots, I don't think tells the story. The game was really played exactly how we wanted it to. The second half we came out pressing much higher and really took the game to Ocean City. They scored on what I would and what the group would agree, I think, was a sort of odd numbers down counterattack. That it was just, we were a little bit of a mess at the back for 10 seconds, and that'll happen. They'll punish you. I think the biggest change from past seasons is that would have been a 1-0 loss last year for sure, and that was exactly kind of how the Ocean City game last year unfolded, if you recall, the one at Belson. So this was a huge, huge change for us, getting that goal 3 minutes after they scored in the 85th, 84th minute, I want to say.
In the 83rd, right.
Yeah, was crucial and is telling about this group.
Bryan and Stratton goalkeeper Babukar Cisse had five saves and 1 goal against in the last game. That was his first goal that he let up. He leads the Mid-Atlantic Division with a 0.33 goals against average. But head coach Joe Balsamo did not start Babukar Cisse today. Instead, he starts Gambian national goalkeeper Jason Belfon. Can you give us a little bit of insight of what you think the mindset or the thought process of head coach Joe Balsamo might be, and the reasoning for this to be?
Yeah, both Jay and Babu are terrific goalkeepers. Every day in training, they're pushing each other, and they have a great relationship on and off the field. Last week, one of the things that Babu does really, really well is he gets off his line super quickly. He didn't have a ton to do against Ocean City. The shots were pretty tame, but he did really well getting off his line early and cutting out through balls. And toward the end of the first half, there was a moment where he came out sort of to the left of his box, little collision, and he picked up an ankle injury, and he's been struggling in training this week with it. Fit enough to be on the roster. I think that's probably the reason why Jason gets a chance, and Jason's a terrific goalkeeper, so I don't expect to see anything different out of him today.
At the JUCO level for Cisse, he was 7-2 with a 0.95 goals against average. With in 9 games played, he allowed 6 goals. So we'll see. Maybe he might be in the contest on Tuesday against the Long Island Rough Riders. But Ben, now the biggest question here: 1-0-2 with 2 draws in the last 2 games, 1 against Cedar Stars and the most recent contest against Ocean City. The biggest reason for this is what?
I think it's somewhat cliche, but it's the spirit of the team. The club has always been a family club. I think it attracts players like that naturally. And then it's always difficult to put a USL squad together, and you get players in May, and you don't learn a lot about them before the season starts. In the past, we've ended up with players who are excellent players but haven't gelled so well with the team, don't want to play in the system. This year, everybody's playing within the system, and you can see that with 1 goal against all season is a terrific record so far, and it's due to experience at the back. Across the back, we have and this is a quirk of the league, I think, a little bit, but, our overage players with more experience, all of our defenders have been, except Tommaso, for the most part. So it's really getting the experience in the right places and keeping the family feel, the spirit of the club, and having not so many egos in the locker room has been by far the biggest change.
We speak about family, and we speak about the veteran of the team, Connor McGlynn. He's actually on the USL League Two's top 100 player watch list from Siena, midfielder. He's about to be a junior. He has 2 shots on goal this season, one against Cedar Stars and the opposite against Ocean City, both at home at Poly Prep in Brooklyn. What we just spoke about earlier off camera, I asked him the biggest reason why you guys are 1-0-2, and he said biggest key was, quote, spirit and leadership. Can you basically vouch for him with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've known Connor for several years now, and he came in. It's amazing to hear you call him a veteran, because I remember his first day at the club. He's grown a huge amount. He's always been a phenomenal player. I think Connor is probably Connor and Johan together are sort of the heart of the team, and Connor has some of the best feet I've ever seen at this level. He has a huge future in front of him, and he has this goofy, I think he'll take this as a compliment, this goofy leadership style that makes players both comfortable around him, but also really, when you see how hard he works and how competitive he is on the field, you want to make sure you're putting in at least that much work. And so Connor has his own unique style, and if he says leadership is one of the things that got us here, I completely agree, and more importantly, it's a lot of his own leadership.
And he also talks about structure and organization all the way from the top all the way down. Injury update coming ahead for you. Alexis Santa, Johan Maritzen are both back. Your brother Adam Marcu makes his season debut along with number 21 Dylan Scanley. Let's speak about the 3 keys to the game for you against the then PDL runners-up in the national championship. These guys came out swinging here, and they absolutely dominated everybody last season with 38 points on the then PDL season. A season ago against FA Euro, 4-0 combined. You guys did not score a goal. Speak about the 3 keys to the game against this brand new FA Euro squad.
Yeah, I think they're pretty simple. The first one is consistency. It goes back to what we've been doing throughout the year, staying compact at the back and making sure that we are responsible and do our roles. The second one relates a lot to how Reading has played this year, which is a familiar system for them, but when they're in possession, they get their wing backs very, very high. Their center backs stay very narrow. So it's a question of, can we exploit that? And the way to do that is to win the ball and then get it into those wide channels as quickly as possible. So that'll require the 2 wingers, DeAndre Gordon and Alexis Santa. They're going to have to stay high and wide. They're going to have to, as soon as the ball turns over, they'll have to react and get in those moments of transition, run forward, be willing to make runs and not get the ball for 4 or 5 times out of 6 or 7, and so that's the second key of the game, is to hit Reading in those problem areas for them that we've noticed on film, which is a lot in those wide channels in transition. The third point is for us to stay patient. And this is it's a feature of Joe Balsamo's coaching for sure. But if you try to go too quickly, it's one thing to play the ball forward, but we're not a team that's going to press from the first whistle. Certainly not away at Reading on this giant field that they have here. Beautiful setting, by the way. And great to be outside on a nice day like this.
Of course, yeah.
Summer is coming.
Exactly, yeah.
Now that Game of Thrones is over, summer is coming.
On Memorial Day weekend, yeah. So
that's the third key, is to stay patient. Don't get over-aggressive defensively. Don't come out of the shape. When we win the ball, pass it into those danger areas quickly, and then let the whole team get up, move the ball, and make Reading chase it a little bit.
In addition, also, Kali Muntaha, defender number 2, is out this evening. He did not make the trip. Also, another debut for Tristan Briscoe from St. Francis Brooklyn Terriers. He will be making his long-awaited debut tonight against the Reading United. Ben, anything on Tristan that you'd like to add in?
Tristan's super versatile. He can play as a wide player. He can play through the middle. He's really, really smart. He's good on the ball and dynamic. I think he'll be a good balance. Obviously, we've lost Nico Baudo. For those of you who have been following us, Nico's gone back to Italy for a period, but he provide something different. Nico was a tempo player. He moved the ball in midfield. He had a lot of graft. Where with Tristan, you're going to see a lot more dynamism, more driving with the ball through midfield. One of the big things to see today is against Reading, where if we are going to sit in a little bit more, can he contain himself? Can he have that patience that we were talking about before he starts going into all different areas and stretching the team a little bit? But for me, Tristan is an amazing player with a really, really big future.
The battle of first place commences in just a few moments here from West Lawn, Pennsylvania. Alongside Ben Marcu, I'm Joey Jarzynka, and the rest of the FA Euro TV crew. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the battle of first place will begin in just a few moments. 6 points for Reading, 5 for FA Euro. We'll see you soon on the postgame show here on FA Euro TV.